And on this Wednesday morning, this Cooper Company Live, one of the probably the most recognized faces in North Alabama, Don Simons. Good morning, Don.
Morning, sir.
Yeah, you been on vacation, went visit your twin brother?
Had a beautiful time.
Does he look like you?
Just like him.
Just about like me.
What'd you say about the neighborhood you grew up in?
Well, we were poor, and none of us looked the same. My parents couldn't afford to have kids, and neighbors had us.
You don't look like your parents.
Hey, when we discussed this several times, you've been up on here before, your clientele, mainly your best clientele, is older folks that go through it and just, as I say in the country, get shed of stuff they don't need no more.
That's right.
But one of the biggest problems that people like you and your business you have is stolen merchandise. Their stuff they own forever, but how do you know when you're getting stolen merchandise? Wouldn't that be hard to track down?
Well, it's difficult to be sure, but you can get an inkling that it might not belong to the person. You know, if the kid's 21 years old and he's got a sack full of white gold jewelry from back in the 50s,
chances are.
He stole it from his grandparents.
Yeah, it's probably not his.
What do you tell them when they come in?
Well, I quiz them about how they acquired it. But the biggest thing that we do that most places don't do is I actually take photographs of the jewelry. And I photocopy their ID. And then if we're reasonably sure it didn't belong to them, we start getting some detectives on the phone. And, you know, hey, can you kind of check into Binky, you know, and see where he acquired this.
Now, if you purchase that jewelry from, what do you call him, Blinky?
Binky.
Are you required to hold it for a certain amount of time before you can sell it to your...
Yeah, everything I buy has to be held for 15 days.
Okay, everything.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody changes their mind, say somebody brings you some, can they come back and buy that jewelry back, or is it a done deal?
Most of the time, it's a done deal. Try not to get into that much.
That would be a lot of work.
That's more like the pawn business.
Yeah, okay. And you're not a pawn shop.
I'm not a pawn
And you don't
shop.
sell jewelry.
No.
I can't come in there and pick out a ring or whatever.
No.
Now, people bring it in. What's the process? And I know we've gone over this before. If you've watched it and you haven't had the pleasure of dealing with Don, you've got something that you want to get. Is it a hour or two, or is it going to be over in a half hour and they're going to walk out there with some money?
10 to 15 minutes.
That's it?
Worst case. You know, I've heard people say it takes a little too long. But we deal with a lot of people. But I think one of the reasons they think it takes too long is because if you've been in my store, there's nothing but mirrors. And 10 minutes staring in the mirror at yourself's a long time.
I never thought of that way, but I guess that's right.
You know, they'll stand in the McDonald's line for 15 minutes, and that doesn't bother them.
Right.
You're
at the corner of Bob Wallace?
In Jordan.
And Jordan, right there next to the barbecue place, and everybody, there it is right there, probably the most recognized building now in North Alabama. You started advertising, what, a couple years ago?
Yeah,
4
years ago.
4 years ago, so it's been that long.
Right.
And I bet you can't go anywhere now without people saying, dang, you look like Jamie Cooper.
That's exactly. But I have had a lot of people from this area come and tell me they saw me on your show.
Well, yeah, we're just glad to have you over. Don, I don't know if you know this or not, and we had this on yesterday. We mentioned you, talked about you yesterday. There was a story on the front page of USA Today yesterday. I know you smoke cigarettes.
Correct.
I just happen to have a cigarette butt right here. Well, we had the mayor of Athens was up here with us yesterday. These things, it takes forever to recycle a cigarette. I mean, this thing to be, it's not biodegradable or whatever. It takes forever for it to go. So now they're coming up with a recycling company. This is right up your alley. That is turning cigarette butts into jewelry. It's right here in USA Today. Put your glasses on. You got them right there in your pocket. Is turning cigarette butts into jewelry, vases, guitar picks, and stuff like that.
You look funny.
So you're cheating yourself out of potentially millions of dollars by not saving your cigarette butts.
By throwing them away.
I'm going to send this with you. Because it does say that.
But one thing I do want to urge people to do, if you're a smoker, quit throwing your butts on the ground. It's nasty.
Good for you.
And what we were talking about yesterday.
That's what we talked about
You've seen people dump their ashtray when they pull off the interstate?
Or stop at a
my wife just, it gets all over her. I wring the tobacco out of them and roll them up and put them in my pocket. And she gets pretty disgusted because I get a whole pocket full of cigarette butts.
So when she's doing the laundry, I guess she finds them.
You know, people just, they don't think. They ride down the road and they're eating at McDonald's and hear all stuff comes flying out the window.
That's low-class people.
It's got to be. But now, I've watched what we would call well-educated people, you know, and they'll stand right there and smoke a cigarette butt and stomp it out on the doorstep.
They think nothing wrong with that.
No. And they don't realize that you walk through some of these parking lots and it looks nasty. They can wring the tobacco out of it, put it in their pocket, save it till the nearest trash can, or quit smoking like I hope to do.
Yeah, well, how's that working? How's that working for you?
How long have you smoked? For a very long time.
Almost 40 years.
See?
Okay.
Look at all cigarette butts you could have saved now. But turning cigarette butts into jewelry.
Jewelry is that's an interesting idea.
All right, let's go back to your business now, Simon Jewelry. What are you looking for right now? What do people need to bring in? Anything?
White
Anything.
Gold, silver.
White gold, yellow gold, silver. Basically anything they have that has precious metal, platinum, diamonds, large diamonds, old watches. Not your more modern watches, but your old antique watches. Preferably gold, but some of your antique watches that aren't gold are still worth some money. I'm one of the few people still wears no wind up.
Yeah. You don't see that very often.
So if it's antique but not gold, you take that as well?
Yes.
Okay. Doesn't have to
So
be gold.
go through your stuff and pick it out and bring it down to Don. And let me go over a few photographs yesterday. Our favorite place to go is Walmart. It's like the mall here in Athens. What's our first photo we got? Let's talk about it in a second. Up. Used to work at Wright Kubota right there, so they watch us each and every day. They were down there shopping yesterday.
Mr. and Miss Hayes.
Mr. and Miss Hayes, saw them. Next photo. Yep, that lady said, my hair looks as bad as yours does today, Jamie. She's not short. She just had an injury. She was riding around in one of those little carts there. What's her name?
Motorized scooters.
Can't remember.
I wrote it on the email.
But I know somebody will see her right there this morning with a loyal viewer. That's me on the right. Next photo.
Not to get confused.
Oh, yeah, there he is. What's his name, Frank?
Doug McCurry.
Doug
McCurry, the minister I thought you said was deceased, but he's alive and well.
I couldn't get away from him.
There he is. Yeah, yep, and there he is
like,
again.
I don't want your picture, I want her picture.
Yeah, he said, yeah, I don't want my picture made with you. I want my picture made with her.
He's a smart man.
Yeah, well, there he is. And do we have
He's
one
always
more?
funny. That's all.
Oh, that was it, huh? I'll have to get some
Who are you
pictures of you,
missing?
Don. Got to get some pictures of you and get you on. Hey, I'm going to take a break. Come back in a minute. I'm going to tell you about some things we got coming up here. Hey, Jerry, I thought y'all was coming on to talk about the church this week. 195 at Round Island Baptist Church this weekend, celebrating 195 years.
That's right.
Dusty's older brother's preaching down that way. We'll take a break. Be right back in just a moment. Y'all hang on.